that you wanted to, or we weren't really sure what you're trying to do with them. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of extrapolate from there and maybe take some time to show some other ways that you might think about attacking these kinds of problems in the future, whether it's in p5JS or in other environments. So for example, on many of the submissions, I commented that random was a great way to use computation to your advantage and a great thing to pair with color. And so here's an example of one. This is group 2, I think, who submitted this. There was another group who had, or maybe 2 groups who had something kind of similar. And you may have done this in your other classes, but let's just have a look here. I basically ported their sketch in and took all the, how do you call it, connect stuff out. So, super laggy guy. Hold on, let me stop some other stuff going on here. Again, I'm just on my little baby Chromebook, so maybe this is okay. So, oh yeah, still pretty laggy. That's okay. It's also the easing function, but in any case, you can see here. The point is that what's going on is that we have some. If we look at the code, there's a circle which is moving around. That's being, its position is using an easing function in order to basically slow its arrival here. And it looks like we're generating some triangles which share a common point, which is the mouse XY. And, just from looking at the sketch, we can tell that the color is being randomized. So if we look at the code here, every time this is drawn, we're going to generate a new fill value, which is going to be random. It's going to have this opacity here of 100, so you can tell, you can kind of see through the triangles to see below. That's a nice effect. And then it's going to draw 3 triangles using this for loop. So the for loop is going to run basically 3 times until this variable here reaches 2. For a total of 3 then triangles. Each triangle is going to share the mouse XY, or in the case of the connect, wherever the hand is, it's going to share those XY positions, and then it'll generate 2 other XY values here, which group 3 has mapped onto basically the size of the canvas. So nice work there. Anyway, so what if we used a good old-fashioned color palette to basically limit the number of colors that we used, but also still randomizing in some way. So what I started with was I went to colorhex.com and I found a color palette that I liked. I didn't really love it, but it was called Vibing, and that seemed good. So what I did was I went and I copied these RGB values, boom, 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 boom. And I entered these as variables here. I called these Vibe 1, Vibe 2, Vibe 3, Vibe 4, Vibe 5. And they're set to contain the RGB values as an array. That's what these brackets here mean, of course. And this is also using some easing, but we don't need to worry about that. But if we hit play, we'll see what happens here. We see those colors. So how's it doing this? Basically what we're doing here, the only thing that I changed was I kept this triangle XY here, but I moved the fill inside the for loop. And every time the for loop runs, I'm also generating or asking it to grab a new color. So I'm declaring this local variable here called roll. So I say let roll. So inside this for loop, we have a variable called roll. And I say let that equal one of these arrays here. And so random allows you to actually put arrays in here. And so every time it rolls inside this for loop, it's going to give us vibe 1, vibe 2, vibe 3, vibe 4, or vibe 5. And of course, this would work with any color palette. But this way you get some variation, right? Which is, oh, I don't have the XY hooked up on this one. Let's do that really fast. So we have X and Y. All we got to do is do, we just need to set X to mouse X inside the draw function, and Y equals mouse Y. Cha cha cha. Pew 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 pew. Here we go. That's that. In any case, it's going to allow you to sort of have a little bit more aesthetic control. And again, this is going to work with any